In this video, we're going to look at the sine rule. So before we've looked at trigonometry, it's always been involving right angle triangles, whereas now we're going to be looking at non-right angle triangles. And we can still work out sides and angles, but we've got special rules for that. So the sine rule, we use that whenever we've got two sides and two angles, including the unknown. And for any triangle ABC, the sine rule is A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. And hopefully you can see the distinction between the letters A, B and C. They're all small, they're lowercase, and then the capital A, capital B, capital C represent the angles. Now, in labelling a triangle, it's really important that we do so in an appropriate way. And the way in which we do that is that side A is opposite angle A, side B is opposite angle B, and side C is opposite angle C. Okay, and this would be the same if it was any triangle and any letters. So if we had this triangle and it was P, Q, and R, then the side opposite angle P is small p, the side opposite angle Q is small q, and the side opposite angle R is small r. So we always label triangles in this manner. So the sine rule then, this version is on the formula sheet of our exam papers, but there is another version which makes it easier for angles. Basically it's the same thing, only the angles are in the top. So what we have is, if we're trying to look for a side, we put the side in the top. If we're trying to look for an angle, we put the angles on the top. So A over sine A, B over sine B, C over sine C, or sine A over A, sine B over B, sine C over C. Now, whenever we're using the sine rule, one of these A, B's or C ratios or fractions will not be needed, so we'll just forget about it, and then we'll use two of them. We can cross multiply to make life a little easier, and then we can solve for whatever the unknown is. And we should always state our answers to three significant figures unless we're told otherwise. So example 14, we've got this triangle. I'm going to first of all label the sides. I'm just going to go the angles A, B and C. So the sides, the x is small a, the base is small b, and the 7 centimeters is going to be small c. So what we're doing is we're trying to find a side. So we're going to have the sides on tops. So it's A over sine capital A equals B over sine capital B equals C over sine capital C. So if we fill in the information, what we've got is A is x and angle A is 40, so it's AX over sine 40 equals, well, we don't know side B and we don't know side or angle B. Now we could work it out if we needed to, because the three angles in a triangle, so 40, 64 and angle B add up to 180. So if we needed to, we could work that out, and that's going to be 76 degrees. Okay, but we don't need that at the minute, but we'll leave that there in case we do. And then side C is 7 and angle C is 64, so 7 over 64, or sine 64. And what we can do then is we can forget about the b's. So we've got x over sine 40 equals 7 over sine 64. And what we're best doing at this stage is to cross multiply. And whenever we say cross multiply, we mean bring the sine 40 up to the 7 and the sine 64 up to the x. So we have x sine 64 equals 7 sine 40. And to get x on its own, we have to divide by sine 64. So we'll get x equals 7 sine 40 over the sine of 64. And if we put that into our calculator, making sure our calculator is in degrees mode, so at the top of our calculator there should be a D or a DEG. And we can put this all into the calculator in one step, making sure we close our brackets whenever we put in our angles. And we get an answer of 5.006 so 5.01 to 3 significant figures. Example 15 then, find y. So same again, we're going to start off by labelling our triangle. So we get A, B and C. The side opposite angle A is small a, the side opposite angle B is small b, and the side opposite angle C is small c. We're trying to find the side, so we'll put the sides on top. So it's A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. And we can fill in our information. So A, we don't know, so it's A over sine 70 equals B, which is 5.1, over the sine of, well, we can work that out. So 70 and 40 is 110. So 110 from 180 means that the angle B is 70 degrees. So then we're going to have 5.1 over sine 70. And then C, which is what we're looking for, so it's side Y, over the sine of 40 degrees. Now this time, we don't know what A is, and we're not trying to work it out. So we can forget about that whole part of the fraction. So what we're left with is just 5.1 sine 70 equals Y over sine 40. Again, we can cross multiply, so we can bring the denominators up to the other side. And we get 5.1 sine 40 equals Y sine 70. Now we're trying to find Y, so we need to get rid of the sine 70, and to do so we'll divide. And we get 5.1 sine 40 over the sine of 70 is equal to Y. So that means that Y is equal to 3.4886. So that's 3.49 centimetres to 3 significant figures. Example 16 then, so we're going to label the sides. So we've got A, B and C, or the angles A, B and C. We label the sides, so 8 centimetres is small a, 10.4 is small b, and the base is small c. So we're trying to find a angle here. So we'll have to do sine in the top, so angles on the top, sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C. Fill in the information that we've got. So sine x over 8 equals sine 88 over 10.4 equals sine C over C. So clearly we don't know anything about C, so we can forget about it. And we've got this fraction, sine x over 8 equals sine 88 over 10.4. So if we cross multiply, we get 10.4 sine x equals 8 sine 88. And if we divide through by 10.4, we get that sine x equals 8 sine 88 over 10.4. If we put that in our calculator, we get 0.76876. And then to work out x, we don't divide through by sine, we do sine to the minus 1 of 0.76876. And we get an angle of 50.2 degrees to 1 decimal place. And with this, we could then work out angle C, if we needed to, by adding the 3 angles to get 180 degrees. Example 17, in triangle DEF, DE is 7, EF is 6.13 and EDF, so that means the angle at D is 41 degrees. Find angle E. So we can draw a triangle, go D, E and F. We know that angle D is 41, and we know EF is 6.13 and DE is 7, and we're trying to find angle E, so I'm going to call that X. What we need to do at this point is label the sides small d, small e and small f. So small d is the side opposite angle D, small e is opposite angle E, and small f is opposite side f. So we're trying to find an angle. So whenever we do sine rule, it's going to be sine A, but in this case it's D over side D equals sine E over side E equals sine F over small f. So filling in our information, we've got that sine of 41 over 6.13 equals sine x over E equals sine f over 7. So what we have is we don't have enough information at the minute to work out x, and we can't work out side E either. The only thing that we can do at the minute is work out angle f, but if we work out angle f, then using the three angles in a triangle we can work out E. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to try and work out f, so we'll forget about E. So cross multiplying, we get 7 sine 41 equals 6.13 sine f. Divide by 6.13, we have 7 sine 41 over 6.13 equals sine f. And putting that into your calculator, we get 0.74917. So f then is the inverse sine of 0.74917, which is 48.519 to 3 decimal places. So we need to then work out E, and to do that we've got 41 plus x plus f equals 180. So we've got 41 plus x plus 48.519 equals 180. So x then is going to work out 180 minus the other two angles, which is 90.5 degrees to 1 decimal place.